Hello, my name is Ben.
And my name is Josh.
And welcome back to FPL Graduates.
So today we have a new guest on, as we do every week. Today we have FPL Don. How are you doing, my guy?
Life's good, man. We just we out here living, dude. Just got put on lockdown ×2, so we out here doing our thing, man.
Good to hear. We love to hear it, don't we?
Yeah, we really do. First of all, we're going to get into the team you support. Obviously, in the background there, you've got a Barcelona flag, so we assume you support Barcelona. Tell us a little bit more about why you support the team you support.
Well, really, I put this up there because I don't have a Rihanna poster up yet for my channel, but I'm just going to go with Barcelona for now. No, I support Barca because in America, you don't get too much television growing up as far as football goes. You know what I mean? So like Premier League matches, you got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning if you want to watch anything. And even if that, you have to buy like streaming services, which just came out recently, right? So when I was growing up, the first player I really got to see week in and week out was Messi. And Messi and Dino too. I think Dino, I caught the latter end of him. And yeah, dude, just started falling in love instantly, man. And I fell in love with Messi more than I fell in love with Barcelona at first. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, man, I mean, Messi's really the reason that brought me to Barcelona. And here I am crying for these last 3 years in every quarterfinal.
Yeah, really good. Obviously, yeah. Messi is a good reason.
Messi is Messi. You can't argue with that. He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time in terms of players that have stepped onto a pitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see there's a lot of reasoning to support in Barcelona, and yeah, let's move straight on into the next segment.
Yeah. So obviously, we usually ask what your favourite team's assets in FPL and which best ones you would pick from your team, but obviously not in FPL. So I was going to say top 3 players right now in the whole of FPL. Who are you picking?
Anybody? So I'm almost like I'm on a free hit or a wild card.
Yeah.
I think the first one's got to be KDB. LeBron is just, I mean, you look at the schedule he has moving forward, it's disgusting. And now they're starting to catch form. And I mean, this dude's a wizard with the ball, man. In my opinion, he's like, I think I've been saying it for like a year now. He's the best since I started this channel, that he's the best midfielder in the world. I don't even think it's close. And now they have that juicy schedule lining up. He's got to be the first one, which is super ironic because I don't have him on my squad. So he'd be the first one off my list. Let me think who else would be good. I'd probably go with maybe Bruno Fernandes. I know the popular pick might be Mo Salah here, and I kind of want to I don't want to pick the 3 biggest premiums. You know what I mean? So I kind of want to change it up a bit. But Bruno, you look at Bruno, dude, and I mean the guy has been balling out since he came to the Prem. Really, I think he's averaging 0.81 goals or assists per 90 minutes, not including a penalty, which is just outrageous. And United are not clicking right now, and he's still outscoring Mo Salah. And so for his price range, I think he's got to be up there. Do I switch it up a little bit? Maybe Chilwell. I'll probably go Chilwell. I know he's 6.2 mil, I think, right now, but he hasn't blanked this season.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Bruno Fernandes stats, he is currently on 8.3 points per game, which is absolutely crazy. So mad stats to see, and 3 really key players in FPL.
Yeah, Chilwell as well. He's a great cheap way to get into that Chelsea attack, let alone the defence as well. So 3 really good players, and 3 players pretty much everyone should have in their FPL teams.
Time to review FPL Don's team. Now, I know it's been a weird game week for a lot of people. There's been a few weird scores, not a lot of template players really returning. So, FPL Don, how did you do in this last game week in terms of your points?
Well, first off, I want to say I think my head looks big on my webcam right now, so I think I got to go back to my camera. No, my squad, I ended up with 50 points this week. I kind of got saved by Orion's belt here in my midfield. I only had 4 people return, which is when on weeks you only have 4 people return, you don't expect to get in the 50s. But I feel like my lowest, including my captain, my lowest point scorer was Chilwell, who dropped an 8-piece nugget. And so I was a little blessed. I had Grealish, who had that just absolutely wonderful strike. I mean, I think I talked about in my last video. It was a little alarming if I was watching that as far as the why did they just let him dribble down the middle like that? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you have the most dangerous player on either squad dribbling up, and he's getting closer and closer. It's like, okay, go ahead, dude, shoot it. I don't care, man. But yeah, so Grealish came away with a 10-piece. Bruno Fernandes, dude's always doing his thing, man. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did that without bonus points too.
Yeah,
which is impressive.
For that game.
Yeah, and then I mean, Mo Salah is just dude's clutch week in, week out, year in, year out. Even when he only plays 60 minutes and he gets a goal called off sides, he still comes away with a nice 12-piece with a captain. But if we're looking at the obvious things that I'm missing here, I feel like I'm going a bit too long on this. But I got Cancelo like 3 weeks ago. And if you look at how he's done the last 3 weeks, you'll know exactly when I picked him up. He's gotten if I look it up right now, he didn't play last week. The week before, he got 1 point, and then 3 points the week before that. So I picked him up at the wrong time. And getting 0 for my defender is just the worst, man.
I did the same with Cancelo. I've got him in the exactly same point. It's quite annoying because I didn't really expect it. I didn't really expect Mendy to come back in, but it's pep roulette. It's the guilty of the game at the end of the day.
I picked him up knowing it was going to be a risk, but you look at how he was playing. The dude was creating like four attempted assists per game. Dude was balling out, man.
It was. His numbers were great, but then he's been rotated to play Champions League, so it's just a bit annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, though, 50 points is still not a bad score. It's above average for the game week. I believe the average was 44 points, I think. So still not too bad for a game week. Probably a green arrow in there, and yeah, moving on up in the world rankings.
Yeah.
My favourite part of the video, it is test your guess time. It is the one that we get all the guests in. They get nervous, they crumble, but some do prosper. FPL Don, how do you feel about test your guess this week?
Well, I'm going to perspire. That's what I'm going to do, man. I'm already sweating thinking about how I'm going to answer these, dude.
Okay, a minute on the clock. 3, 2, 1. Who is the top scoring goalkeeper in FPL currently?
Fabianski.
Correct. Who scored the most points in game week 10?
Was that last week, Mahrez?
Yeah. Who is the most transferred in player ahead of game week 11?
Jota.
Correct. Which keeper has the most clean sheets in the Premier League so far?
Chelsea.
Who was at Chelsea? Correct. How many goals has the top scorer Calvert-Lewin got so far this season?
He's at double digits, 10.
Correct. What price is Jack Grealish currently on FPL?
7.5.
7.7. Which team is currently bottom of the Premier League table?
Say that again. Burnley.
Incorrect. Which team have conceded the most goals this season in the Premier League?
West Brom.
Fulham. 5 keepers have saved a penalty so far this season in the league. Name one of them.
Fabianski.
Correct. Who is the most expensive player in FPL?
Mo Salah.
Correct. How much is Mo Salah currently on FPL?
12.3.
Oh, 12.2.
He got 7 on count.
So close to a new winner.
Oh, that would have been such
He's
good
joint level.
He's done very well.
What was it?
12.2.
0.1 off.
12.2. Oh, it's heartbreaking.
I was going to say 12.2, but I thought maybe you got to... 12.2, but I thought maybe you got to...
That is fantastic, though.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, over this past game week, I was looking at the stats, and he had a 60% chance of increasing back up to 12.3. So
The margins
in this game.
Honestly.
It was an unbelievable start.
He came flying out the blocks. It was the warm-up, I reckon. We might have to get more of it.
Yeah, might have to get the warm-up.
I got tripped up with the bottom of the table, dude. I don't mess with no bottom feeders, bro.
7 points. What a return. I mean,
Joints
off the leaderboard, so that's the benchmark to beat now.
So after that brilliant performance, unreal limbs, so close, we're going to move on to the captaincy of the week. It's my favourite part because I love big double-digit hauls. So FPL Don, you've had a great round in the trivia. Can you pull a captaincy option out of the bag? Who are you going for?
Well, knowing that my captaincy record this season has been abysmal and my vice captain has outscored my captain every week but one so far, I don't feel too good about this section. So for this one, I realized that one of my biggest problems in FPL is I don't spend enough time on my captain. I spend so much time on like who am I going to transfer in, and then like an hour or two before the deadline, I'm like, okay, who am I going to captain? So I've decided to change how I look at captaincy picks. And before I get into my juicy captaincy pick of the week, I was listening to Late Riser on Twitter. I don't know what his actual name is. Anyway, he has a podcast, FPL Wire, and somebody there was talking about they had the second most captaincy points last season. And he talked about what he does to pick a captain. So he decides to almost predict what's going to happen in the game. That's what the first thing he does is he predicts what happens in the game. So for my pick, I'm going with Big Daddy Kane, man. I think Harry Kane is in for a good one this week. And hear me out on this one, because normally I go with the don't start somebody if they're facing a top 6 side, right? But if we look at Arsenal's form right now, they just are not playing well at all. Their last 2 matches, or 3 of the last matches, they I think I was listening to FPL Family, and they were saying that they've given up the second most shots in the box over the last 3 matches. Arsenal have. And then we look at who they've, like, the similar strikers to who have played Arsenal. Ollie Watkins scored 2 against Arsenal. Patrick Bamford should have had like 4 in that game, hit post so many times. So, I mean, I think that this is the week that Harry Kane really goes off. And they're at home. This is the first weekend in 8 months that they've allowed fans in stadiums, even if it's going to be a small amount. And I think Tottenham are going to come out to play, man. I don't think they're going to sit back like they have in the past 2 matches and park the bus.
Yeah, very big pick. Big North London derby. Harry Kane loves a goal against Arsenal too. It's definitely a great show.
I think it's the biggest call for a captain pick we've had so far, because of Mourinho's press conferences, where he said that Kane could be back, could not be back. Is it mind games? Who knows?
All we know, we could have our first 0-pointer on the captaincy board. That would be crazy. Get him on the board.
We'll get him on the board, and hopefully he'll rise up further than where he's at right now. But yeah, we'll see. Shall we do our captain picks then, Josh?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Right, I'll go into mine first. We're both going big this week, and as I say every week, it's not set in stone, but usually I do keep it that way. I'm going for Riyad Mahrez as my captain this week. It is a huge call, and I wouldn't have put him as my captain if he played midweek, but he didn't play any minutes midweek. He's primed and ready to play against this Fulham team, who have looked more defensively solid in recent weeks under Parker. We've said before, he's got his solid back four, he knows what his best defence is now. But this City team, the cogs are turning. They're starting to get a bit of momentum in. They played really well last weekend.
Yeah.
They could have really beaten the team that they played midweek. They
had so many chances.
So many chances. And I think Mahrez could come good this week and could provide to your captain this week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're a Man City club over here. Ben's is 5%, mine's under 2%. If he performs this week, my overall rank's going to go from how terrible it is right now. We're going to be shooting up. I'm going Gabby Jesus. Loads of people have been looking at him. I decided to bite the bullet and I've bit it hard. I'm going to captain him this week. I've took out DCL. I've brought in Jesus. I think DCL's lacking the supply that he needs. No Digne, no Coleman. He's just got Hammers and Charles, and I don't think that's going to be enough against Burnley to break them down. And even if he does score, I think Jesus is going to score more. Like Ben said about Fulham, Fulham have actually been one of the best defensive teams in recent weeks. The last 5 weeks, they're in the top 5 for the least conceded goals. So interest in that. But it's Manchester City, it's Kevin De Bruyne, it's Riyad Mahrez, it's Gabriel Jesus, maybe even Sterling or Torres. It's Pep Roulette, who knows? But Jesus, the games that he's been fit for in the Premier League, he's played 90 minutes every time.
We're just spinning the wheel and we're just going to see what happens.
Red or black, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, FPL Don, what do you think of our captain picks? Are they good picks or are they big risks?
I actually love the Gabriel Jesus one. I was looking at, I know you talked about you dropped DCL. I'm actually looking at doing that next week. I think I just give him one more go against Burnley. I know for the same reasons. I mean, you're losing Digne, Coleman's out. I mean, Hamas has been... He's been good, but he hasn't been the same Hamas we saw at the beginning of the season. And so I like getting rid of DCL first off. I'm just going to wait one more week to do it before that schedule gets bad. But Jesus, man, Jesus is a dude who he has a like, you can't teach it for strikers. He just has a certain ability to get in the box and find a way to get a shot off. He's not always the most clinical in front of goal. But he's a dude who will get you 4 or 5 shots easy. He's always going to find a way to get on top of a Kevin De Bruyne across. And so I like that a lot, man. As far as Riyad Mahrez goes, dude, you're in for a hard. I'm just kidding. I've been a big Mahrez fan since the Leicester days. Dude's just, I don't know why he doesn't play more at City. It doesn't make any sense to me. I know he's playing, I think he started like 7 of the last 8 games for City. But, dude, that guy is, you put the ball in his feet, and it's almost like must watch TV. You know, like that old the old meme where you see a guy sitting in the back of his chair like this, and then when he gets a goal scored against him in FIFA, like he sits in the front. That's kind of how it is with Mahrez, man. The second he gets the ball, you're on the edge of your seat. You're just like, dude, what's this guy gonna do? So I love both picks. And going up against Fulham. Yeah, I know Fulham played well against Leicester, but City or City.
Yeah.
And dude, you're right. If they haul, green arrows galore for you two, man.
I mean, if they do perform, it could either be 2 goals and assist each for these two, or it could end in tears with one of them being benched and a 1-pointer coming our way. But you know what? That's the fun of FPL, and it's kind of like at this point we're pretty low in rankings at the moment, so we need something to really get us going and get the season running. I think I'm just at about 1 million. I think you were at 1.2.
No, I'm at 2. I'm at way behind. I'm not too far. I've checked though. I'm about 40 points away. So I get a Jesus haul. I'm right up in there. So it's a good risk to take, in my opinion, because I'd probably have captain Bruno or Vardy, and I don't think they're going to score. I don't think they're going to go like massively haul. I don't think they're going to get a hat trick or something. Saying that now, Vardy's going to score a hat trick, but. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't, and hopefully Gab Jesus, he pays it off.
Time for the differentials of the week. Now this is the section where we pick a player under 10% owned and who we think are going to perform well this week. Yep. Josh, we'll start with you. Who's your differential this week?
He's played unreal last week. He played well midweek in the Champions League. He's 2.6% owned, I want to say. It is Edison Cavani of Man United. There's doubt of whether he could be suspended, but I think he should be okay. And he's been the talisman in that United team, almost a player that they really need to accompany Bruno. And I think with him and Bruno in that team, it's going to be like the Harry Kane Son vibes. If he gets a goal, it'll be Bruno assisting. If he gets an assist, it'll be Bruno scoring. So Cavani for me played amazing last weekend. I loved it. So he's going to be my differential this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a defensive option. I know usually for our differentials of the week we go for attack and try and see if we can get as many points as we can. I'm going to go defensive this week. I'm going to go Eric Dyer of Tottenham Hotspur. At 2.1% owned, he's down from his original 5 million to 4.9, and he has returned in 4 of the last 5 game weeks, coming up against a team who have got the least shots in their last 5 games out of anyone in the league in Arsenal. I think this is a relatively safe pick for a defensive option. I know Arsenal will come out and they'll try and play against this Tottenham team as they always seem to do in the North London derby, but I think in the form that they're currently in, I don't see him really causing Tottenham too many troubles at the back. And Dyer, obviously going forward, he has an aerial threat and could get a goal in this game, so we'll see how that one works out. Very differential from both of us.
I had Dyer before I'd done my wild card, and he obviously only returned like once, maybe twice, but ever since I took him out, he's returned pretty much consistently. Spurs have tightened up that defence, and the Mourinho a lot more solid, so really good pick. So we're going to move on to FPL Don. He's been umming and ahhing, he don't know who to pick, but who has he finally decided to go for?
Yeah, dude, so they put me under the pressure. They told me I didn't have to do this section, and they lied to me, so no, I'm just kidding. Part of me says I want to go Pereira. I'm not going to, but part of me really wants to pick that as just the most I can't, though. I can't, man. So if he scores, you can go back and make fun of me for not doing it, not having the guts to do it. I think I'm just going to go over Richarlison, man. I know it's a bit of a lame pick, but he's facing Burnley, and Burnley got trashed last week by City. And, he's still 4% owned, which is crazy to me, but my heart says Pereira. My me being too scared says go with Richarlison. So I'm gonna go with Richie Rich, man. Roddy Rich.
2 weeks in a row that Richarlison has been part of the differential pick of the week from our guests.
Oh no!
It is. Even more. It shows Richarlison is doing something in that Everton team, and he is important when he's playing for him.
Yeah, definitely. They're lacking some injuries, but he's definitely a great option to go for if you're looking for a little alternative to Calvert-Lewin. Okay, so moving on to the fixture rundown. We're going to pick the best fixtures of the week, the ones you need to keep an eye on, the ones you need to watch. So, first game, what are we going for?
I'm going to start with the obvious one, Manchester City against Fulham. The Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. Really big game week for a lot of captainers. I know a lot of people are going to have De Bruyne, and I know a lot of people have brought in, just like us, Riyad Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus. A lot of people have Sterling. There's a lot of assets in here that are owned, and we could see City really come back and build on what they did against Burnley, and if they do, then it's big green arrow for all of us.
Yeah, really interesting fixture. Next one I'm going to move on to is West Ham at home to Manchester United. Obviously Bruno Fernandes is quite high owned now. I think he's over 35% at the time of recording. So a lot of people have him, and a lot of people thinking to captain him because he has returned every away game double-digit hauls. That's what captain. You just love to hear it, but really we're going against the grain. I haven't captained Bruno for like the past 3 weeks when I really should have, so why stop now? He's playing very well. Other assets, I'm not sure really if there's many. Differentials potentially in that United squad, but I know I've got Aaron Cresswell playing as well, so there are a few West Ham assets, but I think it's going to be goals for both teams, so watch out for that one.
There's a couple of West Ham players in there to definitely keep your eye on. Another game to definitely keep your eye on is the North London derby this weekend between Tottenham and Arsenal, and we're mainly looking at the Tottenham assets for this game. The likes of Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, still very much highly owned by a lot of people. We'll see if Kane does play. I think he will play a part in the game. If he's anywhere near full fitness, he will play. That's just how he is. Like, he will go through pain to play, and especially he wants to play in this game especially. So the likes also of Serge Aurier, Doherty, Reguilon's relatively high end, and he's a doubt for this weekend, so we could see potentially Tottenham players returning.
Yeah,
it's whether
also whether Glenn's pick of Aubameyang finally returns at some stage. That'll be nice to see. But yeah, moving on. The final fixture we're going to pick for this week is going to be Liverpool versus Wolves. We picked it over Chelsea Leeds just because there are 3 men in that Liverpool squad: Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, and Diogo Jota. It's a 3-horse race here. I've got Mane and Jota. He's got Salah. Can Mane and Jota outscore Mo Salah? That's the big question.
That is a very big question, and it is basically just a close your eyes on point because at the player who's going to get the most points, because it could be either one of them who gets the most points in a specific game week. We'll have to wait and see. Wolves obviously without their striker Jimenez, but there also are other Wolves options. A lot of people have Kilman, who may have to play this week for a lot of players. There's lots of Podence, Neto. There's a few options in there for Wolves.
Yeah, I think it makes them more mobile going without Jimenez. I think it could actually benefit them, especially with Liverpool going without Alisson now. It's going to be a very, very makeshift back line. It's going to be very interesting to see who they play. I think it's going to be definitely goals for both teams in that game as well. And if you haven't got Diogo Jota yet, what are you doing? He's unreal value for money. Probably the steal of the season already. Like, it's under 7 still. To get into that Liverpool attack, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I haven't got him in yet, but there's other things that need to put out first. I need to get Salah back in as soon as. But yeah, let's move on to
the manager of the week.
Manager of the week.
So obviously our league code is at the end of the video. It's in our Twitter bio. It's pretty much everywhere by now. You should know it. And if you aren't in it, definitely come and join us. So the top scorer of the week, not necessarily, he's not at the top, he's doing well for himself, don't get me wrong. He's in 36th position. It's Anthony Thompson with the team named Kaiser Chiefs. He had an 81-point week. This must have got him a crazy green arrow, considering the average was 44. It's nearly double the average, which is mental.
Crazy score.
So he had Meslier, I don't know how to say his name, the Leeds keeper.
Yeah,
we're going to roll with it. 11-pointer, great performance. Chilwell, Walker, Dallas, all 8 or 9 pointers there in defence. He has Grealish, De Bruyne captain, Bruno Fernandes, and then no returns up front. But 81 this week is an absolutely remarkable score. Great defensive picks there. He's gone for Kyle Walker, the extra bit of moolah, same with Chilwell, and it's paid off massively.
Yeah, well, at the top of the league, we've got a new leader, FC Typhoon. This is from Dominic Drobler. 57 points this week, 2 ahead of Jack Thompson. Another Thompson, could they be brothers?
Maybe.
He had a good week as well. 57 points. He had Fernandes captain, Grealish, James returning, Jamal Lewis returning as well. So he had not a bad week, and that's taken him to top the leaderboard. But can he stay there? Jack Thompson has been there pretty much all season, hasn't he?
Big L for him this week. James Ward-Prowse, second sub on the bench. If he's first sub on the bench, he's coming off a Cancelo, I'd like to imagine, as he's on his bench. Annoying for him, but he's still top of the league, so I'm sure he's not going to lose sleep about it.
That wraps up another episode of FPL Fridays. A very special guest on. We've thoroughly enjoyed having you on FPL Don. Have you enjoyed your time on the FPL Graduates channel?
I did, man. I didn't do as well in the trivia as I wanted to, but it is what it is, and I'm ready for the weekend, man. I'm ready for Pereira to go off.
Yes, we're ready for another busy schedule of Premier League football. As always, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the FPL Don. Great content on the YouTube and on Twitter as well. And I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
And I've been the leader of the Rihanna fan club, FPL Don, man. Subscribe to these guys.
Love that.
And we'll see you
later.